Okay. Assalamualaikum. We will continue from subtopic 1.3 on the development of highways and street system in Malaysia. Okay. On this subtopic, we will be looking into the four different road construction or highway construction, right? It started from the Roman road, in the early 17th century, Metcalfe Road, followed by Telford Road, and finally there's introduction of McAdams Road. This McAdams Roads, we have been using the theory until now, right? We are looking at the structural layer of each of the road development, right? This is about the Roman road. Okay, just to give you the idea of what is Roman road all about, you can look at this picture. Okay, there's structural layer. You can see the surface texture of the Roman road, how they arrange the Roman road. Alright, so at this particular time, we don't have the asphalt concrete that as what you can see nowadays. Right? At that time, there is no materials, there is no any innovation or invention related to making up the surfacing layer to assist the rideability of the user. So what they use during the time, they just pick the stones or rubbles, right, and they arrange it so that it will interlock from one to another. Okay, so this is how the surface texture of the Roman road, right, the early road development. Okay, so this particular roadway is being used by the time we don't have the motorized vehicle yet. So what we use is that using the animal cart. Right? Okay, we use a horse. Right, we have the bull. Okay, to carry over all the goods, for example. Right. Okay, let's look at what are the layers of the Roman road. First of all, we have the paving stones. Okay, the arranged stones. Okay, then we have the fine concrete on the lower layer. Then we use the broken stones, right? So we just pick up any stones from maybe from other sites and they import it and bring it to the site and they arrange it or they layer it on the surface without putting any cementitious mineral to bind it or to make it more interlock between one another, right? And then you have the rubble stone on the lowest layer. Okay, so at this particular time, we use animal cut, alright, pulled by animal, and it made up of the stone blocks placed close together. So that is the most that they can do at that particular time with very limited machineries. I just mentioned in the time, right? Okay, then we have the second one is the Metcalfe Road. So this Metcalfe Road, if you look at the structural layer, okay, you can see the drawing of the structural or the drawing of the cross section of the Metcalfe Road. There is a slight bend in the road layer. Okay, so what is being introduced by Metcalfe is that he introduced the use of chambering system. Okay, at this time you can see there is a chambering system. Okay, it would allow the water to flow down to the drainage. Right? During the Roman road, they don't even think about the drainage of the road itself. Okay? The top layer for this Metcalfe road, they use gravel. Also, they just arrange it as close as possible, right? And the second layer, the lower layer, they use excavated road material, right? So they just excavate from other place and they bring it to the site, right? And another innovation that they use in this road layer is that um, they implement the use of large stone foundation. So at this time, there is the word foundation. Okay. What is good about Metcalf? He think on the drainage system and the foundation of subbase. So you can see from the figure, as I told you just now, he put the chambering system or the curve, right, wood chambering to allow good drainage, and he introduced the foundation for strong base, right? And the carriageway was arched to assist surface water drainage. Okay, so this is the explanation on the chambering, right? And then those road that cross soft ground, he introduced sub-base raft or bundled heather. There is arrangement of the large stone using heather type, right? Okay. The third one is the Telford Road. Telford Road is where what you can actually see, you can compare from the previous one to the latest one, Telford Road, right? You can see in terms of the arrangement of the stone particles or the material particles between one another. They start to bind it close to one another as much as possible, right? So the very top layer they use it for gravel, then they use the broken stone, and for the foundation we use hand pitched stone, right? So at this particular point, you can see Telford Road and also Metcalf Road. If when you were to ride on the surface of Metcalf Road and also Telford Road, you can feel that on the Telford Road, the rideability is much smoother compared to Metcalf Road, right? Because they sandwich between the small stones between the small stones and the big boulders, right? The small stone would fill the voids between the stone blocks, and it's being compacted until smooth surface obtained. So for Telford Road, what is new is that he introduced the compaction properties to eliminate all those voids between the material particles. Okay? And finally, this is the McAdam Road. Right? This is the one that we use nowadays, where it's been improvised in terms of the structural layer. So you can see this is on one direction of wood, this is another one on the coming direction. Alright, we provide the chamber, there must be arch at the center. Right, one is going down to the left and one is going down to the right. Right, so what is the function of chambering? Chambering is to assist the water flow, especially the surface runoff. Right, if it is raining, for example, the raindrops that falls on the surface is called as surface runoff. So it will be facilitated to flow through the left hand side and also the right hand side of the road layer. They will drop down to this drainage over here, and another drainage on the left hand side. Okay. Several layers. It consists of several layers of compacted stones. The foundation is improved. They remove all the topsoil. Okay, topsoil is not good for construction because this topsoil is kind of a loose particles. Right? They consist of organic matter. Organic matter. There's a lot of organic matter in terms of percentage. So you need to remove the topsoil to ensure a greater strength can be introduced in the road layer. Okay. Okay, so this is the whole overview in the US on the development of highway transportation. Okay, at the early years, we travel by foot, horse, or any animal cart, and then start to use automobile or truck travel. The first one's been introduced by Lancaster Turnpike in 1974, first toll road. Okay? And in 18th century, they start to build the canals and inland waterways. Alright, then start to go into construction of railroads. Quite early in 18th century, there are already waterways and also railway system. Right, public transportation also has been introduced in some of the central cities. And the development of aircraft, they only came in 19th centuries. Right, so and there are lots of new technology that come in between. We have the intelligent transportation system nowadays. Okay, you can look at them. What are the ITS or um, the advancement of the facilities with regards to transportation all over the world? There are lots of advancement, especially related to ICT. Okay? What about in Malaysia? Right, before independence and after independence, I think you can even think of how do we travel before independent era. Alright, during the time, the the main economy contribution from the rubber plantation and tin mining. Okay, so these two economic field, they actually demand for a good road network to transport the goods from one point to another, right? So at that time, British admin they take over the planning of road in Malaya. Okay, last decade before independence, tar road constructed in cities and towns, where they use the McAdam theory, right? So at this time, they only introduced the asphalt pavement, right? Mechanical and motorized vehicles replaced the animal drawn carts. Okay, and then after independent era, so this is what we can see nowadays. Okay, we have one of the finest systems of road network system in the world. Alright, the bituminous or concrete road provide accessibility to residents, either it is in the urban area or it is in the rural area. Both location they are being served by either flexible pavement or rigid pavement. Okay, and we are lucky enough we have this fast expressway. We shorten out the length, shorten out the time for us to reach one place to another. When the fast expressway stretch from the north, uh, which is at the Bukit Kalitam, and to the south in Johor. Okay, and we also have those federal highways, um, intercity, the link between the states as well. Right. Okay. Alright, road classification. Okay, how do we classify the road? It is based on the location, either it's urban or it's rural, and the function of the road itself. Okay, it can be part under national road, regional, state, or the interstate condition, or it can be a city network, right? In rural area, it is located outside of cities, serve links between population centers. Uh, Maybe from one kampung to another, or from one taman to another. So it's about population, we serve population. Alright, but if it is in urban cities, it is more to business or commercial means, right? It used for commuting and also shopping trades, serve areas for high density land. So that is what we call as urban road. Okay. Road hierarchy. Alright, look at this road hierarchy. We have five road hierarchy. Actually eight altogether. Eight road hierarchy. Alright. Okay. We'll start with the first one, which is on the highway. Okay. Now, when you look into the highway and expressway, right? Plus, I think all of us are used to say that plus is actually highway. Okay, kita selalu sebut nak naik highway. Going to KL is you'll be using highway, right? That is what we used to. Okay, but the proper word or the right term for the plus is actually expressway. So if you to be looking at any signage from the plus itself or any handout from plus, they would be using plus expressway, right? Expressway is the highest class of the road hierarchy. Okay, you can see at the definition. It is a divided highway for through traffic. Divided here means that you must have divided at the in between the two opposing traffic, right? What else? So it's also been mentioned that especially we must have full access control and great separation at all intersections. So at all of the exit there must be interchanges. Okay, and the speed limit is 110 kilometer per hour. That is the standard speed limit, right? So one is about highway that we used to mention most of the time, right? The difference between highway and expressway. Okay, one more thing I think they miss out here. You can add up your own, right? Expressway usually with toll. You must pay in order for you to go on that expressway, right? There are tolls to be paid. Okay, but highway, some of it they don't implement toll, right? Okay, where will be the highway? Okay, maybe the one that is close to us is I think everybody would know this. Those coming from Kelantan or Terengganu, you are using Great to Kelantan, right? That particular roadway. So that roadway is considered to be highway. Alright. They don't have they don't have divided traffic, right? You can just turn left or you can just stop by on the right hand side, on the left hand side anytime because they don't put the divider in between, right? Okay, but in terms of the speed, it's quite high because they give you maybe 2 lanes or 3 lanes roadway in one direction, right? So it is considered to be quite a smooth traffic in highway. But in terms of the control, you don't have full access control, right? You need to be extra careful when you travel on highway. There must be obstacle coming in front suddenly. Okay? Ada gajah melintas, kan kalau dekat atas puncak bukit Great tu somewhere saya tak familiar sangat, tiba-tiba ada gajah kan, right? And also along the way at Baling all the way there are lots of intersection between. Okay, suddenly you need to stop because there is traffic light over there. Okay, so in terms of the traffic, it's smooth, but you need to be extra careful in terms of the access control, partly access control. If it is expressway, you can fully access control your vehicle. You can speed. Alright. Okay, primary road, the major roads within the state. Okay, so maybe in Penang, you can see Jalan Baru Krai. That is the major road within the state. Okay? It serves intermediate trip lengths, medium traveling speed, smooth traffic but with a partial access control, link up state capitals, districts. Right. Secondary road, major road within district, serve intermediate trip lengths. Right. And for minor road, uh, apply to all roads other than mentioned earlier. Serve mainly local traffic, short trip length, no access control. Okay. And then we have arterial, continuous road with partial access for through traffic within urban area. So this is for urban area. Yes, arterial. Okay. And then we have collector, arterial, connected to the collector. Okay. Serve as collector or distributor between the arterial and local road system. So collector ni adalah penyambung antara arterial dan local street. It is usually in the identified neighborhoods, commercial areas and industrial areas. Okay. Local street, basic road networks within the neighborhoods serve direct access to abutting land. Okay. Through traffic should be discouraged. There won't be any through traffic at all, right? Ini semua jalan-jalan kecil kalau dalam taman, lorong-lorong, kalau kampung, jalan-jalan kampung lah, right? So you can see this table, the characteristic of the rural road and the urban road, right? So you can see rural road consists of the expressway until the minor road. For urban road, starting from also expressway, but the lowest group is local street, right? They are divided by their name, right? They are differentiated by their name for rural and also for urban. You can see from trip line, the volume and speed, how far it can go, how many vehicles can serve, right? Okay, road admin, federal, alright. This is all part under GPR and the HQ, alright, under Federal Road Ordinance, linking state capitals, airport, railway station and ports. Road within FELDA is also under federal, constructed with federal funds. So if it is under JKR, there are federal funds and there are state funds, two different funding, right? And the road is being classified as different category lah in terms of the administration power. Okay. State road, alright, constructed with the state funds. Maintenance is being done by state government through state JKR, right? Mainly done by federal JKR, right? Local authority, city hall, municipal or local council, for example, owned by NBSP, owned by Perda, right? Kampung, usually earth roads maintained by district office. Okay? Pejabat daerah, they take over the kampung road. And private, maintained by private company. This is more the expressway, Lekas Highway, for example. Alright. There are lots more lah in the Klang Valley. There are lots of companies that maintain the private road. This is usually with toll. Okay. Road category, alright, federal roads, state roads. Okay, I think we can break this out. Okay, this federal road, there are toll expressway, toll highways, national highways, road within federal territories. Minor road also belongs to federal road as well, but it access to federal government institution. It can be within Pematang Power. There are also federal roads. Within Georgetown, where it gives access to federal government institution, for example. So it is part under federal roads. Okay? So in every state there will be federal roads and also state roads, depending on the function. Okay. Road within federal territories, primary roads, urban, collector, and local streets. Right? Okay, so this is the example of the state road in Selangor. Okay, the Kampung Road is a bare road, right? Private road is now north-south expressway. Okay, so if you look at the color itself, if it's green color, it's more private. This blue color is a government road, and the state of private road. Okay, so this is where you can see the linkages of the road system. Alright, there are classified as the expressway. See, this is the expressway. Right, there are a few more that you can see. You have the Batu Kulin Expressway. Right. Okay, then you just have a look at this. You can look at the Google Map. Right. And there are authorities and also a service provider that's related to highway and traffic. Can be LLM, JKR, MIROS is on the safety. Okay. Local authorities, plus Litrat, Propel, lots more. Okay. Okay, there are these quiz. Okay, never mind. I will give you a question later for you to answer. Alright, then we have the next one is on topic 1.4. So let me see. Topic 1.4 is about the okay, I'll just finish up 1.4 here. Alright, it's about the imaging issues and trends in highway and traffic engineering. Okay, this is 1.4, emerging issues and trends in highway and traffic engineering in Malaysia. Okay, so what are the challenges of transportation in Malaysia? Right, it's about the to meet the perceived social and economic needs. Right, it's about the attitude of the people in Malaysia, also um, the emergence of the economic issue. Right. So the challenges are such as managing the congestion, right? If you were to discuss about challenges in Malaysia, I think what will come in your mind will be all about traffic jam, traffic accidents, alright? Those the the major challenges of the transportation. Okay. Besides that, maybe there's some of issues regarding to parking facilities. Alright. Okay. So we'll be looking at what are the challenges as we mentioned in this slide. Alright. How to manage the congestion by demand or supply measures. Alright. So this is about transportation that we will be studying in chapter 2 later. Right. How to improve the safety, especially about the traffic accidents concerns. There are lots of fatalities, especially during the festive seasons, right? Or school holiday season, right? That one of the concerns the MIROS they handle on this traffic accident study. Okay. And number 3 is to provide equal access. Okay. Lately, Malaysia are moving towards providing equal access, especially to the OKU. Right? This OKU is also included uh, as part of the elderly people as well. Elderly people is part of OKU lah kita kata. They are actually not disabled, but they might be not disabled because of their health condition, for example. So they need to provide equal access to those people, right? Protecting the environment using the environmental impact assessment and providing a new technology. As I told you, we have the ITS, Intelligent Transportation System, right? Because there are lots of ITS that has been blooming through in Malaysia. Okay, about the parking in Penang itself, they provide the smart parking, Penang smart parking, that is part of the ITS, right? Then what else? They are using robots to replace the human being in order to handle the parking space. But that is not an issue. You can see outside, there is a robot that handle this management of parking. Right? That are parts of ITS. Right? A smart car, right? An autonomous vehicle where it can move by itself. You just hop on into the car and just press one some of the button, and you can do your work inside the car. The car will be moving by itself. That's called autonomous vehicle, right? And then about the funding lah, there will be challenges in any field. There will be challenges on money. Okay, benefits of higher privatization. What is good about this? Okay, the Malaysian government, they might not um, have the capability to handle the whole uh, highway system or expressway system in Malaysia. So what the government did is that they pass over to private sector, okay, to PLUS to handle over the PLUS expressway, right? So this is good, especially to handle the serious traffic congestion in Malaysia, to also reduce the highway-related crashes, to avoid the delay, to reduce parking difficulties, or to solve the parking difficulties, and also about the pollution. Right? So when we were to give to private sector, we are actually bringing in a new technology together. Right? For example, the second push implement, we provide it to the private sector. What we did is that they bring in all the technology that came in from China that we don't even have in Malaysia yet. Alright, so that is something good that we can see about privatizing. Okay? So these are all the general challenges. You can read. Mention scenario. So we have already looked at this. User safety, back seat belt. Once upon a time, they have enforced this, but suddenly they stopped it. Right? There's some issues regarding to this back seat belt. Okay? And this year, it sounds that they start to enforce car seat for children, right? But due to MCO, there are some of changes. They are not fully implemented yet. All right. Okay, poor service of public transport system. This is what we know in Malaysia. We are lacking in terms of the public transport system. Alright. Transportation and highway safety. Okay. It can be classified into four categories: the driver, the vehicle, the roadway, and also the environment. I think we have discussed this in topic 1.2. The driver characteristic, the roadway characteristic, and the vehicle characteristic, right? They are the same. You can actually think of what are the factors that contribute to do safety on roadway. Okay? How to improve this safety? You can give by collecting data, identifying hazard location, and then you do the engineering study. When you can see people by the roadside, all right, they are taking the traffic volume number of the vehicle, right? And then once you know what is the problem and you got the data and you do the analysis, you can actually propose what is the possible project that can be prioritized, right, to meet the problems. Okay, traffic congestion, okay, crashes, parking difficulties, all right. You need to have smart car, and then you can park in between two vehicles like this, lah. Okay. Okay, air pollution. I think not that bad in Malaysia. This. Okay. Last one is 1.5. There's a little bit more on this visibility. I'll continue on the next lecture. Right. Thank you so much, everyone. Right. Assalamualaikum and happy studying. Okay.